He is, and now facing Jordan Foreest in Blitz TieBreaks. Jordan chose to start with the white pieces. Here we go.
Here we go. It's an Italian game, so it's the best of 2 Blitz games. Each player will have 1 white, 1 black, and they only start with 5 minutes on the clock, gaining 3 seconds after every move. So it's going to quicken up, sharpen up, and okay, a quick trade of pawns in the center of the board. This is the most trendy variation now of the Italian game. This one surely has been studied by both players. Now either white's pawn on the side of the board will push up 2 squares, the A pawn, or white will centralize the white rook. Those are the 2 main moves here. Okay, what is Shaq going to do? Oh, sorry, Jordan going to do? Okay, he brings out his knight. Also a decent move. Shaq with black is going to maybe bring out his bishop, move the black knight from the center. This one is still very well known, this type of position.
Who is the best in Blitz among these 2?
Big question. They're both good. We saw Jordan knock out Anish and beat Anish in the Blitz TieBreaks. Shaq is very good at Blitz in general, but I think he prefers over the board to online Blitz. So maybe Jordan a bit better with the mouse, but Shaq very, very good.
Shakira also beat Anish in Blitz TieBreaks, actually.
True.
Oh. That's true. Also, it was, I have to say, both victories over Anish were kind of due to Anish's mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, he had great positions in both matches, and it just seemed like an unfortunate series of events that happened. And yeah, sadly, he lost the matches. And well, Shakira doing some of my favourite things, taking space by pushing pawns.
Yeah, those pawn pushes are very, very committal. They do leave some weaknesses behind, but they did get rid of White's knight in the centre. White's knight in the centre went to trade itself off for a bishop, so it's still level pawns, level pieces on the board, but Black has this really nice pawn centre. White, as compensation, has the bishop pair, and we see White trying to break open the position for his bishops.
This could be a bit of a battle of theory as well. I mean, this very active move from White can be quite dangerous if the queen can fly out next move, threatening checkmate. That's something to think about. Black has beautiful centre with those pawns, but a little bit loose at the moment, somewhat. And the 2 bishops for Jordan as well. But again, this must be well-known stuff.
Yeah. At least until the last couple of moves, I'd seen the position before. I'm not sure I've seen this exact position. I'm definitely expecting that knight to be kicked out from Black's half of the board. Okay, first, Shaq just solidifies the black pawn centre. And as you mentioned, Simon, White's queen can fly out to team up with her knight, Batman and Robin there. I was thinking, actually, during the break, maybe we should name endgames when you have a bishop and a rook, B and R, Batman and Robin.
Ooh!
Yes.
Queen of Knight, we need another nickname.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
Sharp stuff, David, after a long day.
Yeah. Well, we did get some suggestions on Twitter, some of them, like, very obvious, Tom and Jerry.
Oh,
How could we not think of that one? Peanut butter and jelly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never tried that.
Yeah, that's an American thing.
Very American.
I don't think I've ever had it, actually.
No.
Really? I have.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's okay.
I do know that in England as well, very naughty, you guys like to have chips on your toast.
Oh. Chip butty. It's a chip butty. Chips and bread, or chips and gravy.
Very
Chips
strange.
and curry sauce.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips. Oh, fish and chips.
You know, how can we forget
when
this?
we get into food,
Bangers
then
and mash, yeah.
Banger.
This seems to be my speciality there.
Cakes, then call me. Yeah, so, yeah, just...
And also call the police.
In the meantime, like, we do see the centre clarify itself with Shakira taking space. And I have to say, I really like his position. I really like what he's done. To me, he should be just moving his knight out of the way and just rerouting it to the right side of the board so that it can advance, or help advance those pawns come forward.
So Black has 2 knights of anchor. You want to move them both, I guess, ideally towards this right half of the board, because that's where the action will happen. Meanwhile, we should mention the weird placement of White's knight. That will rectify itself. White's knight will recentralize later on. And, OK, one of the ideas Ivanka mentioned has happened. Black stepping back with the knight, slowly kind of rerouting it towards the right half of the board and offering a bishop trade. No bishop trade, though, from Jordan. The light squared bishops are essential to White's future plans. So, OK, the white bishop stepping back, losing time, though. Mamedyarov, this is the ideal attacking position for him, and he's an attacking player as Black.
I mean, if he can ever move the pawn, the Freddy pawn, the F pawn, 2 squares forwards, then that will be a crushing attack. But this is the pawn he really wants to move, but he just can't move it at the moment. So he needs to prepare it, as you say, bring some pieces around to support maybe an avalanche of pawns here. Yeah. But I think Jordan's got things under control. He does control lots of those squares on the king side, which are going to be dangerous.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Mamedyarov just ticking under 3 minutes. He's not been playing too quickly so far. I'm not sure he's adapted to the pace. Jordan at 3.5 minutes, still not great pace. Both players may be struggling to adapt to the blitz after the rapid section. And, OK, Mamedyarov taking a good decision, blocking the advance of White's pawns on this left side. Now, play will switch to the other flank, and there we go. Jordan is the one trying to open things up on this flank. Double-edged, that's where White's king sits. He's pushing pawns in front of his own king. That could backfire, but then again, he does have the bishops, and if he can open up lines, open up diagonals, then White's bishops become strong. And, OK, pawn trade. Will we see a rook trade as well? Now, on this open F-line, the rooks are staring at each other.
Yeah, it does feel like if you do trade off rooks, that maybe it will be easier for Shakhriyar to play. And instead, Jordan improves the placing of his knight, because there was a direct threat of bishop takes knight on the board. Now the question is to take or not to take.
Yeah.
And
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
I love it. Just randomly, people are just randomly getting them now. So,
Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness me. We are so bad. OK, knight takes knight on the board. And presumably, I would probably play bishop takes knight, just to keep the tension still remaining.
Develop a piece.
It's a lovely bishop, that dark square bishop, and I'm starting to look at White's position and think, yeah, this is going White's way. If White can get the queen over to the king side, maybe we could possibly just show that with arrows coming E1 to G3 or somewhere like that. It's just White's dark square bishop, fantastic piece.
Let's quickly show this, Simon. As the clocks tick down, White wants to relocate the queen, potentially bringing the queen over, planting it in front of the king and attacking. But this hasn't happened. White instead pushing a pawn, maybe trying to play it in the centre. Yeah, let's go back to the players. I like this queen manoeuvre. Bring the queen over. If Jordan finds it, he's got very good chances to win this game. Black's knight going back. It's all about this queen manoeuvre right now. Going for the black king, using this point and teaming up with the bishop.
Yeah.
Lots of arrows there, but it's all about utilising this white queen.
Maybe the other bishop can come into the game as well. Well, he's moved his queen another way, which also makes sense, connecting the rooks there, just doubling up the rooks. But I think White has a very sizable advantage here, because White also has the breaks here. White has this pawn break you mentioned to try attack the centre. White can move his bishop in at the right time, and all of his pieces are on the king side. I don't really like Black's pieces, especially Black's bishop. Look at the bishop. It just looks like an extra pawn at the moment, and the pawn chain, it's a big pawn, not a bishop.
Yeah, and OK, White rooks are coming in now. This is looking very good. All of White's pieces, they protect each other. This is what we always talk about when we talk about coordination, combining the pieces, utilising them as a team. Yeah, and if you can use them as one unit, they are great together. And there we go, White's queen blockades Black's best pawn, the most dangerous black pawn. Queens aren't great blockaders, but it's good enough for now. And Jordan taking control. Mamedyarov is a bit stuck.
Taking full control, and now all that's needed is that the light square bishop just comes out.
Yeah.
And suddenly the bishop pair just going to start looking at Black's king. It's very, very unpleasant.
Also, there's queen G3, and you can move the bishop into the position. So I think this is what I expect now, just H3 or something.
Yep.
And he's played it. Going for your idea, Jovanka, the light square bishop would love to join in this game now.
Yeah, Black's queen staring down at the white king, but I was about to say the white king can just shift onto a dark square. White has full control of the dark squares. This is why bishop pairs together are so good. Black's minor pieces just can't get in the game. They can't have any influence. White's bishops dancing into the position now, going after targets. Black's pawn on the side of the board attacked by that white bishop.
So many problems here, because even if Black tries to exchange off all the pieces pretty much, he's going to be left playing against the two bishops. So you can't relieve the pressure by making exchanges here. And Black's pawns are being attacked by that dark square bishop of Jordan's, and could even be a pawn dropping any second now.
Yeah. How does Mamedyarov keep the position together? The Black Knight kind of under threat by this last bishop move by White. But just look at White's two bishops. They control every important square in the centre of the board. And, yeah, it's just so hard to even find a move. Mamedyarov offering a rook trade here. but that surely won't help at all. You can trade rooks and maybe even get greedy, grab some pawns.
He has.
There we go.
He has, and I don't think bishop takes pawn works here because there's a nasty tactic. OK, because the bishop can always attack the knight. Could this be 2 pawns he's dropping now? This is really bad.
Yeah, really bad for Mamedyarov. He's trying to get rid of one of White's bishops at any cost, but it's a high cost, giving up 2 pawns potentially. White is 1 pawn up for now, but White's bishop can go and grab a pawn on the edge of the board as well. 2-pawn advantage. Should be game over. White's king pretty safe as well for now.
Also, White can even go on the counter-attack with the queen.
And he has done.
And he has played that move.
He's trying to keep it very simple and keep the pressure up.
Threatening the black knight.
Yep.
Yeah.
And wow, OK, Mamedyarov taking bishops, allowing his knight to drop off. We saw all of the minor pieces disappear, but Jordan, he has a few more pawns. This is brave, though, because suddenly queen endgames, they're tricky, lots of checks in the position. White starts first, though, with the checks.
And it's also whoever has the passed pawn that's further advanced, and at least Mamedyarov has that 1 pawn in the middle of the board. It's only 3 squares away from queening, so he can try to combine that with some queen checks to get some chances here.
Yeah, I think Jordan is banking on the fact that his king can easily catch that pawn. But it's a good tactic at the minute, just to kind of repeat moves, just to get some extra time on the clock.
You have the moves flying onto the board. Jordan actually repeated very quickly. We barely even saw it. But there we go. Another set of checks, and all of Black's pawns are dropping. White is 2 pawns up now. And it's not just that. Look at White's pawn in the middle of the board. It's free to run. And this one, it's almost game over. Surely now Mamedyarov can't save this game. Look at the clock times. 2 minutes for Jordan as well. Plenty of time. All he needs to do is push his extra pawn in the middle.
Yeah. And it's very easy to guard his king. That's Mamedyarov's only hope to give a perpetual check. Can he do it? Jordan will say, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, and here comes the pawn. 2 squares.
No check.
Winning the game. 2 squares.
Will we see a queen, or will the game be over before that?
The game will be over before that.
Yeah, I don't think they ever allow it, do they? The end, unfortunately, in these ones. But OK, at least Black's got his queen behind. There's always some half chances, but it really is, well, actually, maybe not even a half, 1% chance here, I feel.
Oh, and 100 on the bar.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, that means it's a clear win for White. White should make a new queen with that far advanced pawn if he's accurate. As Simon says, there's only 1 or 2% chance that this could go wrong, and that's if you forget the safety of the White king. If you're careless, OK, Jordan just repeating... Oh, OK, not repeating the position there. I was going to say, if you're careless and abandon the White king, it might backfire later on. Here we go. The White king is about to walk out into the open. Surprising.
That's surprising. I thought he was going to tuck it in the corner. Just move it up 1 square.
Totally agree. Why has he gone this way?
Ooh.
It's opening up to checks at least. Giving Black that 1 chance.
And the valuation bar definitely not at 100 anymore. It's down to only +2 for White. Should still be winning. Shakira has to check on the right squares. White's king wants to wander over to the left side of the board. The White king actually wants to walk towards its pawn, but look at the evaluation bar. It's dropped completely.
Wow.
Whoa.
Maybe it's a draw now with best play. White's queen is terribly placed.
Oh, and he's
Shaking
won
his
a
head.
pawn as well.
Yeah, Jordan just rubbing his brow there, shaking his head.
So many missed opportunities by Jordan today. I mean, I think this is still very close to winning. You just got to find somewhere for the king to go. But can you find anywhere for the king?
Valuation bar says no. If the black queen checks now and goes back, you can't march up the board because White actually has a risk of losing now. There are some traps where you walk your king into a checkmate. Okay, Mamedyarov checks diagonally. That's supposed to be very good wisdom in queen endgames, but another piece of good wisdom, put your queen in the centre of the board. Jordan didn't do it. Look at the white queen. She can't block any checks because she's on the wrong side of the king.
And I mean, the thing here is, though, we've talked about the position of the king when you're defending, and Black's king is kind of in an ideal situation because it's avoiding any checks here.
Yeah, there was a nasty check trick in the position.
Yeah, here,
if it
can do
put
it
the
again.
white, he can do
Black
it again.
to win. Black
so
to win.
if White steps the king 1 square forward, that would be a dreadful move. It would be a terrible mistake because the queen would dash to the f6 square and it would be checkmate. And the white king just can't escape the checks.
I think this coming into the centre was totally the wrong idea. I mean, you have to go back towards the king side here, I feel, and try to block with the queen, but I don't know how you can ever achieve that with good defence. And this 1%, well, it was a big 1% chance, wasn't it? It was a massive 1% chance. It looked over, and now Mamedyarov is just fighting.
Yeah, if Jordan doesn't win this game, Mamedyarov is a huge favourite in the last round. I mean, Jordan, he missed a huge opportunity to draw the last game. He should have won this game. And yeah, I mean, still some small chances if he can find a safe square for his king, but looks impossible. No matter where you go, you get checked. Look at white's queen as well, stuck. It can never jump back and defend because the black queen is eyeing up the white pawn.
But now he's going the right way. This is the way that maybe he should have gone in the first place. Can he get it out the way in time here? I mean, why not? I mean, the king's got to use
where it
those times.
started.
Yeah, he's just had a bit of fun walking around the board, losing a pawn in the process. But he's not going that way though.
The evaluation bar shot up for white, meaning it's maybe winning again. And we actually had this position earlier, but white still had a pawn on the left side of the board. So he's basically just lost a pawn for nothing and still can't find the win.
Valuation bar's going crazy, isn't it? I mean, it's all over the shop. And now it's going that way again. So, but I mean, Jordan's tried to move the king this way. I don't think it's going to work, no matter where it goes.
Okay, he's trying to win this black pawn on the edge of the board, though. I'm expecting white to go one square left now with his king, hide itself behind the black pawn. So now at least you've won the black pawn. But actually, if you take it, there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, the
if
queen.
You take it, it's an immediate draw.
Yeah, the queen will just simply give a check one square forward and it's kind of got the king shouldered in. So not a good safety place for the king there. Instead, you know.
Is this an easy draw now? Because I think you can just keep 2 squares away from the king wherever the king goes. If it goes to the right, you check it from 2 squares away. The problem white has, I think it's mentioned, is the white queen. The white queen is not controlling enough squares here. If it was in the middle of the board, it would control some of those checking squares that black has, but it's helping the pawn, but nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, it's not in a position to give any cross checks. It's something that we saw in yesterday's game.
2 days ago, we saw an amazing, really instructive, really classic queen endgame between Magnus Carlsen and Pragnananda, where Magnus won by using the white queen in the middle of the board. Jordan clearly wasn't watching that game. Clearly hasn't studied queen endgames.
I mean, he's trying to, I guess, put the king next to the queen now, isn't he? This is the only chance I can see. But that also comes with a little bit of risk. He's going back. Could it be a draw?
Yeah, we've been at almost this exact position before. I'm pretty sure we've seen that position 2 times now. Jordan has to be careful. If he puts his king on the wrong square, the position will repeat for a 3rd time and game over immediately with a draw. And Jordan, look at his face. He's devastated.
Yeah.
So close.
Yeah.
And so far away. I mean, it's kind of a repeat tale of what happened.
Again, he relaxed one move too soon.
He's really trying to draw this match or lose this match. I mean, he's had so many chances. I mean, you know, you just feel that the way it's going, Mamedyarov must be favourite in the last game.
With the white pieces as well.
And no way out for this white king. Look how the black queen is keeping the white king in its box in the corner. You can try and run across the board now, but again,
you'll get mated if
no
you
way out.
You know, if you go here, you'll get mated. You have to. Yeah, this is the only way. Other way, it's checkmate.
And there we go, a draw in the first Blitz game. Jordan with the white pieces wasn't able to convert that to a win. And in 5 minutes, Blitz game number 2, look at him, angry with himself.